Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about right to repair as in regards to Tesla. I don't know if I've said this before, but I've been working on Tesla since 2015 when I bought my first Model S and proceeded to take it apart. After I learned a lot about the cars, I started buying salvage cars and repairing them. At the time they were really cheap. This was around the time Rich Rebuilds got started, and I helped him do his first car too. It was good because the cars were available, and it was hard to repair because Tesla wouldn't release any service information whatsoever. They also wouldn't sell you any parts. They would mark the car as unsupported, and if you walked into a service center and tried to buy a part, they wouldn't sell it to you. The first thing they do at the service center is ask you for your VIN, and then they look up that VIN. If it says unsupported, they would tell you to kick rocks. So they were very hostile to salvage vehicles. In addition to that, they started turning off supercharging, and they still do to this day. Since supercharging is an essential part of the vehicle's value, like disabling it means you can't really take long trips anymore. And they don't just disable it on their network, they disable all, DC fast charging. So if you try to use a CHAdeMO adapter or whatever, that doesn't work. What we have here after years of going back and forth with them is they released this unsupported vehicle policy in 2018. And they talk about what it is. They don't recommend you purchase a salvage vehicle because it might damage Tesla equipment such as superchargers, all that. Obviously, if a vehicle is going to, catch fire to supercharger, that would be bad for Tesla. I can see why they'd want to do it, but at the same time, they should allow cars to have an inspection that they perform and allow them back on the supercharging network. I mean, if you bought a GM pickup that was in a fender bender and GM welded your gas tank shut and poured cement in there, that to me it's similar. I know it's a bit of an exaggeration, but still, they're not letting you use the network. So right here they say supercharging of the salvage titled vehicle is disabled. They do let you buy parts though. Any unrestricted or over-the-counter part may be purchased. Now, some service centers don't adhere to this policy. Even when shown this document, they still say, sorry, we can't sell you parts on salvage vehicle. So I guess they didn't get the memo being this document. But most service centers will. But in general, I find that the attitude at the service centers towards anyone is somewhat hostile. Like they view customers as an annoyance. At least this has been my experience and the experience of many people that I've worked with. When I started actually repairing salvage vehicles, I had a lot of people start asking me for help. And over time, I've helped repair about 3,000 vehicles in total. So I've got a lot of experience with this. I've talked to a lot of people, and they've definitely, there's been a lot of anecdotal stories. So I can't say, service is hostile to everyone, but they're generally, on average, pretty unkind to do-it-yourselfers. As the vehicles get older and now we have cars that are out of warranty, people want to do their own work or take it to an independent shop. Before, the cars were all covered under warranty except for a salvage vehicle, so only salvage vehicles were, this issue. But now that, older Model S's are coming off warranty, people want to fix them and get parts. So they have made a lot of strides. You've got if you have a Tesla account, anyone can create one. You can go to epc.tesla.com and sign into the parts catalog. You select your vehicle, and then you can look at the parts. Now they won't give you costs on any of this stuff. You still have to call them to get a cost, but some of the stuff is nice that you can actually look at it and buy it. But look at this. Let's say you crash into something minor. I'm not talking about something that totals your vehicle. It's just a shopping cart runs into your bumper and you want to get a new bumper cover here. They sell the Model 3 fascia unpainted. Yeah, that's over the counter, no VIN. You can buy it, but you have to order two first off. They won't let you order one. You have to order two. Now, if you want the pre-painted ones, which they do, Tesla will bolt on, you can't get those. Those are Tesla only, and obviously you can't paint, even if you could buy the unpainted one, you have to buy two, and then you have to get a body shop to paint it for you. You can't really do that at home. But, Tesla could have easily made this available. If you have a white multi-car, you could just buy this and bolt it on. Easy peasy. But they restrict this, Tesla only. And you'll find that there's a lot of stuff in here that's restricted. And even when it says over-the-counter no VIN, the first thing they do is ask you for a VIN. And a lot of places will not sell you the part without a VIN. And to me, I shouldn't have to share the VIN if I don't want to, especially when it says no VIN. Obviously, you go to parts like the battery. If you wanted to replace your battery, nope, that's a restricted part, or Tesla only. You can't buy it. You can buy some parts, like let's say you want to buy the skid plate. You run over a curb and you damage the skid plate. You can buy that, but the battery itself, nope, can't buy it. So this is kind of a half-hearted attempt at, right to repair, because in some places, like in Europe and some states, mainly Massachusetts, which is leading the charge, they've passed legislation to make service information and parts available. Back in 2012, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts passed this, the Massachusetts Right to Repair Act. And basically it says that starting with year 2015 and thereafter, no manufacturer of vehicle may sell or lease a vehicle without affording the owner access to the same diagnostic and repair information relative to said new motor vehicle that the manufacturer makes available to its dealers and authorized repair facilities. Now, Tesla doesn't have dealers, but they do have authorized repair facilities. And they don't make the same, they've technically been in violation of this law ever since, because they don't make the same information available. Like right now, you can go to service.tesla.com and you can buy a subscription. It says includes service manual, parts manual, battery repair, tooling catalog, and wiring diagrams. Now, this one's especially important, wiring diagrams. If you pay them $31.88 for 1 hour access to this, you find out that if you want a wiring diagram for, let's say, the new Model S Plaid, it's not there. Now, their service centers have access to it, but they didn't put it on the public site. Also, any of the internal service bulletins that their techs apply to things like, problems in the car that you might want to take care of, they don't make those available to the public either. Only certain ones that are deemed okay. So this isn't, they're still in violation of a law passed applying to 2015 cars. So Tesla definitely, isn't doing this. Now, obviously they don't have to do this in states where that legislation doesn't exist, but if you're a Massachusetts resident and you sign in here and try to do this and you pay the exorbitant fee, you still can't get the stuff. So, they're in violation of law. If any lawyers hear me that live in Massachusetts and would love to take this on, I would definitely be an expert witness, because, they really should stop fighting the public on this. It's kind of ridiculous. GM, Ford, Chrysler, they all make this stuff available. You can get a wiring diagram for any of their vehicles. Now, it's not to say they haven't fought it. People have been fighting the right to repair, all these companies. And I'll publish links to all these articles in the description if you want to read them yourself. But obviously, right to repair has gone beyond cars, but it doesn't stop Tesla from contributing to lobbying efforts against right to repair. Huge amount of companies. Everyone's heard about the John Deere tractors, and they're basically holding farmers hostage, with software lock tools and things like that. Basically, there's a coalition called the Coalition for Safe and Secure Data that was formed by all these manufacturers wanting to go against right to repair. And they they had the audacity to like actually produce like a crazy video, which, shows this stuff. Let's see if I can show you that.
If Question 1 passes in Massachusetts, anyone could access the most personal data stored in your vehicle. Domestic violence advocates say a sexual predator could use the data to stalk their victims, pinpoint exactly where you are, whether you are alone, even take control of your vehicle. Vote no on 1. Keep your data safe.
That's crazy, isn't it? They're basically trying to say that if you allow, and to be clear here, they're talking about a new amendment to the Massachusetts Right to Repair law that was passed in 2012, giving access to the telematics data. So, like, obviously, if you call Tesla and you have a problem with your car, they can look at your car remotely and analyze this data without having a laptop or having to connect to the car. So the Massachusetts law is trying to be extended to give access to this telematics data. And this, Coalition for Safe and Secure Data is basically trying to say that it's going to affect your personal safety. Someone in a parking lot is going to stalk you because they're going to get your driving data. And, the telematics, obviously, they don't have to give out that part of the data. They can just give out the service data. That's all that they're asking for. But this coalition published a series of videos. That's the only one I could find. They've actually taken down all the videos on YouTube and elsewhere. They had it linked to their site. It's now got a 404. They're trying to hide, this despicable act, basically. But thanks to Louis Rossman, who I'll have a link to his video. He archived the video, so thanks to him for providing it. Anyway, these guys are nasty, and Tesla actually, they didn't donate much, but they donated to this coalition to promote the lobbying funds. Here, this is actually from the Massachusetts data system. I can't remember what it stands for, OCPF. But anyway, here you can see Tesla actually gave them $375. When you, there's a whole bunch of other people that gave a lot more. General Motors gave $884. This goes on and on. So, like, if you actually look for, you scroll down, when I said General Motors they gave more than $884. Like, here's $5.1 million they gave. BMW $200,000, Volkswagen $250,000, Nissan $2.4 million. Crazy that this is how much the automakers are fighting this. Maybe Tesla gave more and I haven't found it in here, but this is nuts. Like Honda, almost $2.9 million, Toyota $4.2 million. It's crazy. Anyway, they produced this series of professional videos to try to dissuade people from doing that. The automakers don't want you being able to repair your own vehicles. A lot of people don't know this, but the dealer network, they make money. They don't make money selling cars. That might barely cover their overhead. Their main business is service, selling you oil changes and tires and service on your cars, even doing the warranty service. That's how they make their money. So this is a direct threat to the entire model that they operate under. So all the dealer lobbies are in here too. They want to protect that. Anyway, this is crazy that there's this much fighting on it. I don't want to get too much into the weeds here, but basically, Tesla isn't, even the other automakers comply with this legislation. Tesla is definitely not complying with it. And also, let me go back to the supercharging issue here. When they detect that your car is salvage, they'll look at the Carfax report, and see that it's been an accident and it's classified as salvaged. It doesn't matter what the damage was. It could have just been the front bumper cover. That can total a Tesla because the parts are hard to get. So it'll be marked as salvage, and they'll turn off your supercharging. And the way they do that is they reach into your car over the cell modem connection and turn it off. They tell the car to reject the supercharging. The superchargers are basically somewhat dumb devices. The battery management system, as I've went over in other videos, actually controls the supercharger. So when you connect a car, to the supercharger station, the car is what's controlling the authorization. So they're basically going into your car without permission and turning off the supercharging option. And you haven't, you can argue that they had a purchase agreement with the original owner, but let's say you buy a salvage car at an auction. You didn't sign any agreements with Tesla saying they could touch your car, but yet they'll go into your car, even if you repair it and get it on the road and it's driving fine and supercharging fine. They can later, and often do, go into the car and turn it off. They were doing this on Model S and X since 2015, but only recently, like in the last year, have they started doing it to Model 3 and Y. For whatever reason, their system wasn't targeting those vehicles. So many salvage vehicle owners that have 3 and Y have been supercharging fine for years on their salvage vehicles, no problems. And obviously Tesla has access to the logs on those cars that are still connected to them. But they, in any event, turned it off. Now, this document outlines a high voltage safety inspection that will be performed at the customer's expense. Now, this is only to allow Tesla service to do work on your car. Let's say there's a fault in the battery. Now, no, they're not going to do it. The first thing they do is void your warranty. They'll tell you any Tesla limited warranties are void. So yeah, they void your warranty, but let's say there's a problem with the battery and it's not due to the collision. It's just due to the manufacturing issue in the battery. They're still going to not only will they not touch it because it's high voltage, but obviously the warranty is void. Now, arguably, they have a right to do that. They can't be in the business of repairing cars that have been in crazy accidents. But I would say that if the battery hasn't been touched or subjected to anything dangerous in the accident, like if it was just a bumper cover and something relating to the front of the car or the rear where the battery was definitely not touched, they should at least honor the battery warranty. But I'm not a lawyer. Anyway, they won't. Let's say your battery heater goes bad in your Model S and you take it into Tesla service and they see that it's unsupported. They won't touch it without this high voltage safety inspection. And this, I've heard, is anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 for them to do this. And then, only then will they work on your car and charge you, $300 an hour or whatever plus parts to do the work. But they won't do it unless you have this inspection. And they outline, what happens here for the high voltage safety inspection. Now note, they still, even if you pass the high voltage safety inspection, supercharging remains disabled. Now this is Tesla inspecting your high voltage system for $2,000 and they still won't turn on supercharging. That is pretty immoral. I love Tesla. I love their engineering. I've driven their vehicles since 2015. I convinced friends and family to buy their vehicles, but this part of what they're doing is pretty despicable. There are a huge number of salvage vehicles created by accidents, and the insurance industry depends on the secondary market for salvage vehicles. If you get into an accident and it damages your front bumper cover and they total your car, they know someone's going to buy that vehicle at the auction house and fix it and put it back on the road. So if the insurance company pays you $50,000 for your car, they depend on getting something close to that at auction so that they can, recover their loss. If they have to pay $50,000 and they don't get any, refunds at the auction for selling the what's left of the car, then the insurance rates go up. And guess what? That's what's happened. because their policy starting in 2015 has been such, if you compare the insurance rates on a Tesla to an equivalent vehicle in its class, they're much higher. In fact, some insurers won't even insure a Tesla at all because they've been burned by this so many times. Luckily, there are still people like me out there that will buy a salvage car. So the market and the markets in Eastern Europe have been buying a lot of U.S. salvage cars and exporting them, where the laws and the import duties and stuff support basically have an incentive for that to happen. So it's not all gloom, but if that changes and people again stop buying salvage vehicles because they can't get parts or service information or whatever, then the insurance rates are going to continue to climb again. So it's actually in Tesla's best interest to support the secondary market. There's no reason, there's no engineering or technical reason why they can't have a thorough high voltage inspection at the owner's expense to re-enable supercharging. And then a lot of this goes away. And also, allow, if the high voltage inspection reveals that, it was all in cosmetic damage and it didn't affect the powertrain, they should offer to restore the powertrain warranty. It's kind of ridiculous that they void it for that. If you buy a Ford pickup and someone hits the bed and damaged, Ford doesn't now dishonor your powertrain warranty. So why can't Tesla do that? They're big enough automaker now. They're arguably one of the most valuable companies on the planet. They can definitely afford to honor these things, and which it's not a bunch of poor salvage owners asking for handouts. This is going to affect everyone because of the insurance reasons I just outlined. Anyway, they have this authorization, and they make you sign a form that if your car doesn't pass high voltage inspection, that's it, period. You're done, kick rocks. They won't work on your car. And of course, in any event, it doesn't matter if they're not going to restore supercharging, which they don't. So the other thing is, if you, on the service subscriptions, if it says you can get access to the wiring diagrams, you should be able to get access to the wiring diagrams. The service centers have access to the wiring diagrams, but if you try to find if you log into here, pay the $31.88, you'll find there is no wiring diagram for a Plaid. But I've talked to the service centers; their techs have access to it, so they're just restricting it to the public, just like they do. You can also, and this is good on Tesla, they're trying to comply with the right to repair. They offer you the access to the diagnostic software. You can pay $333 a month and get their online diagnostic software, and a lot of it will work through the telematics, so it's pretty cool. They also, they have a cable that connects under the dash. Now, strangely enough, Tesla won't sell you the cable that you need to connect to their toolbox, diagnostic software. But if you buy one on eBay from a third party at great expense, then you can use this. And this does work for the most part. You can't do some things, which I understand, but you can do most things needed to repair a salvage vehicle on here. Of course, they won't let you turn back on supercharging, no matter how good of an engineering study you've done, no matter even if it was supercharging safely for 2 years and then they turned it off. So anyway, this specifically bothers me that they're doing this. I understand the reason. If a salvage vehicle burns to the ground somewhere because someone didn't do the repair, it's not going to be salvage vehicle owner makes improper repair on Tesla. It's going to be Tesla catches on fire. And there's already a lot of FUD around that, around EVs and fire. It's kind of ridiculous. Like anytime an EV catches on fire, it makes global news. Whereas there's something over 10,000 gasoline fires a day on cars in the United States. They're burning all the time. It's a flammable liquid. There's almost no higher energy density liquid that you can carry around at room temperature that has that much energy in it. So it's going to catch on fire. People understand that. The entire energy in a battery is maybe a couple gallons of gasoline. It's nothing compared to what all the vehicles already have. Anyway, I'll stop my rant on that. Let's see, anything else I should go? There's obviously some more links. I'll put these in the comments. Here's Vice. They're talking about this sexual predator ad I just showed you, and more about why that's happened and whatnot. See, yeah, this is how when the two associations joined forces to create this what was it called? Coalition for Safe and Secure Data. Here's another article by Autoweek, Why You Should Care About Right to Repair. Put that in there. For those of you that watch a lot of YouTube, you've probably seen Louis Rossman. He's a really good advocate for right to repair. His main angle is for consumer products like phones and laptops, but cars are the second largest expense that most people, next to a house, that most people buy. So it's super important. I mean, $1,000 iPhone is a lot of money, but a $120,000 Model S is that's a lot of iPhones. So we should definitely have right to repair. Do what you can to support it. Congress ordered the FTC report on repair restrictions, because there was a lot of stuff being thrown around. Like, does it make anything actually dangerous to have right to repair? This is a really cool piece of really cool document. You should take a look at if you're interested in this. I enjoyed reading it. They talk about all the tactics being used to deny like product designs that complicate or prevent repair, unavailability of parts and repair information, looking at you, Tesla, and so on. Software locks, firmware updates, things like that. Apple's been really evil on this, and probably second to Apple is Tesla. Really, and this was a congressionally ordered report, and they've done proper research here. Everything's footnoted properly. So this isn't FUD. Here's the truth. Read it, and then support any local legislation you can on right to repair. And if you live in a state or area that already supports right to repair, get Tesla to comply with it, because they're clearly not. Okay, rant off. I don't want it to sound like I'm anti-Tesla, and I definitely do support Tesla. I keep buying their vehicles. I buy their parts when they let me. I love what Tesla's doing. I love their engineering. I just wish they'd quit being so adversarial to this right to repair process. Anyway, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It'll really help the channel. And if you haven't subscribed, it only takes a few seconds to click the subscribe button below. That'll also help the algorithm. We have to all hail the algorithm, or else you're not going to see me as often. All right, everyone, take care.